Marcus, what are your expectations here when you look at the Chiefs and the offense now that they've added some speed here?
Yeah, Kel, first of all, you reminded me of myself when I walked on the basketball court and people like, man, this dude can't hoop. He's short, he round, he can't jump, he ain't athletic until you get dunked on. Okay, that's what I used to do to people. And that's what the Chiefs were. We talked about it all season. They were dropping, we just showed the graphic. Dropping the football at a historical rate doesn't equate to winning a damn Super Bowl. But it does when you have Patrick Mahomes and Travis Kelce, who seemed to drink from the fountain of youth before the playoffs started, and they just went crazy on people. Now you add Xavier Worthy, the fastest time in the combine. You start talking about the addition of Zay Jones. I really want to hear how Mina feels about this. I like Zay Jones as a complimentary piece at the wide receiver. And I still feel like this year, with the addition of Marquise, that they are going to do it by committee as well. But if you're going to tell me coming out of an offseason that the Kansas City Chiefs with Patrick Mahomes at quarterback and Travis Kelce still there as their stalwart when they got to have it in those particular situations is going to add a F1 formula racing team on the edges at wide receiver, I'll tell you they probably be knocking at the door of competing in the last game of the season again. And that's even if they don't catch the ball as much because they did it last year.
Yeah, I mean, after what we saw last year, I am not going to say no to the Chiefs signing any capable veteran wide receiver. So bringing in Zay Jones seems like a good idea to me, especially with all the uncertainty with Rashee Rice, right? Potential suspension looming, we'll see there. But I'll say this, even if Rice doesn't play for a while, even if they don't sign Zay Jones, I still think this offense will be fine, not just because of what we saw last year, but because I do expect them to do what they did last season, the last couple of years, which is roll out a number of 2-3 tight end sets. They also added Irv Smith Jr. They drafted another tight end out of TCU. That has become a real staple of their offense. They're really, really, really good at it. And that speed that they added with Brown and Worthy will create room for those tight ends to work underneath.
So what's your biggest concern, Mina, when you look at this Chiefs team? And we haven't even talked about the defense.
Yeah, it is on actually the defensive side of the ball because we can't just say, they have Patrick Mahomes, they'll be fine. And it's about their secondary to me. They move on from L'Jarius Sneed. And look, Steve Spagnuolo has done an absolutely fantastic job with these young DBs. And you're probably looking at Josh Williams, Jalen Watson playing on the outside. McDuffie moves inside in sub packages. And they do have experience, valuable experience now. But Sneed is not your average cornerback to just move on from. He was one of the best cornerbacks in the NFL last year. His ability to play press man at really the highest level in the league is what enabled Spagnuolo to do so much with his pressure packages. So there could be a little bit of a transition there as they move on fully to these young corners, and I wouldn't be surprised.
I mean, I love that you pointed out L'Jarius. Look, speaking of people who perform at a very high level in the playoffs, at a high leverage moment, right? Probably saved a lot of what the Baltimore Ravens potentially could have done by forcing a fumble. We saw him earlier in the year lock up Tyreek Hill when they played the Miami Dolphins, when that offense was exploding on everybody. But I give a cause to pause, MK, because 95 is back. And he fixes a lot of things, Chris Jones, when it comes to that secondary. And with the ascension of George Karlaftis as well and how well he rushed the passer, I think this defense gets back to what they do. And what they do is they pressure the quarterback, they force you into bad situations, and Steve Spagnuolo blitzes. He brings more than you can actually protect. The Willie Gay Jr. one is very interesting to me because they were very athletic at the linebacker spot. Fast guys that they could use to mirror quarterbacks. They could use those guys to spy and also add them into the rush with the ability to track down quarterbacks. So I'm looking at that. L'Jarius is obviously a huge loss for any secondary in the league when we start talking about a top 10 player at his position in the National Football League. But I think they felt a little bit better about what they did after that Chris Jones contract got done, forcing quarterbacks to get the ball out of their hands much quicker, taking some pressure off that secondary.
To highlight real quick the loss of Sneed, he was targeted 90 times during the regular season, didn't give up a touchdown. I mean, that is major impact in the secondary that continues to get younger and younger and younger and keeps on winning.